And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Centerfield edition. And yes, we will be naming the 3 greatest Centerfielders of all time in Sports the NEMO Way opinion. And we have a guest again this episode. Buddy is back for episode number 4, which now ties him with Schaller for the most episodes for a guest in Sports the NEMO Way history. So
Who's next? Who's next? That's all I gotta say.
I better call Bob.
Well, if you're betting on if Buddy will break it, I'd take the bet on that. I'm just helping you out there. Vegas sent me a note. Vegas sent me a note.
All right. And just so everybody's aware, we are watching the NBA, so you may hear a couple comments at a few points. But we are going to go over center fielders today. So, Drew, who is your number 3 center fielder of all time?
My number 3 is Ken Griffey Jr.
He's my number 2.
He's my number 3.
He's my number 2.
There's 2 on my list and 1 in my heart.
Dude, I'm like the only Mariners fan here. I didn't have him on my list.
I'm so surprised, man.
The Mariners fan didn't.
And I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to wrap my head around this. Not just because you're a Mariners fan, because I think Ken Griffey's top 10 player of all time.
Might as well just show me the door, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I had Tris Speaker as my number 3.
I mean, Tris Speaker was a great player. I mean,
yeah.
I had Tris Speaker as my number 3, and I almost made a case for DiMaggio too. But yeah, I had Tris, and I feel like everyone's staring at me. Hey, man. But
well, I think we said, I don't know if it was on air or off air. I think it was off air last week. We said that when it came to center field, one other person and Griffey were guarantees, and we were just going to argue about the third guy. We didn't so I think. It just took us off guard that you didn't have Griffey on. So
no, I have Tris. I guess we'll talk about it here. Who else had? So everybody had Griffey, and I had Tris Speaker.
Yeah.
No, I mean, 3,500 hits, 345 career batting average. All-time leader in doubles, 200 triples. He's the last person to ever get 200 career triples. 1,500 RBIs. He led the league in home runs a couple times with 10.
He did. Okay. He did. He won the MVP that season.
Yep.
Yeah.
The power don't lie, bud. 1,900 runs. I mean,
but he had 53 doubles that season. That's a dumb number for doubles.
I mean, he managed. Yeah, he won a World Series. He won 3 World Series. So, I mean, and there's some controversies around him, but none as serious as the last episode that we talked about, But, yeah, he was the first person to really knock out Ty Cobb for the batting championships and stuff like that. They battled quite a bit, and they were neck and neck almost every year. And, so Ty Cobb had a really good streak of leading the league in average and all the things, and Tris Speaker came in and kind of put an end to that.
We're talking about a guy that played a decent amount of his career in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very familiar with Tris Speaker.
Mm-hmm.
The way I always viewed Tris Speaker, he is clearly a Hall of Famer and a great player. I always viewed him as he was the poor man's Ty Cobb. That's the way I always viewed it.
And it is, really. But I'll be the poor man's Ty Cobb all day.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying. That's why Ty Cobb's my number 3. I guess is what I'm saying. Ty Cobb's my number 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go around.
Am I the only one with Ty Cobb?
No, I have Ty Cobb.
Okay.
We're just kind of we're throwing everybody out. We're not waiting. I have Ty Cobb too. Right?
So how many of us have Ty Cobb?
I have Ty Cobb.
I have Ty Cobb.
I don't have him.
An old player that doesn't have.
So 4? Okay. Imagine that. 1910s guy and Wade doesn't have. Oh, Ray
didn't have
Ray
him
doesn't have him either. No. Surprise.
Don't have Tris Speaker. Yeah.
Well, I guess here's my thing. Here's my thing with Ty Cobb. I went into this going, I was going to punish guys for when they played. So, if I were to come to a close argument, I will give the other guy the head, but nobody got close. Like, Ty Cobb's numbers are just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Cobb's numbers are ridiculous. He's got an MVP. He's got a Triple Crown. He has 12 fucking batting titles.
Led the league
12.
And I think if Speaker didn't play with Ty Cobb, he would have led the league. I think he was second every year.
Yeah. He was the all-time hits leader before Pete Rose broke it. So he's now second in all-time in hits. He is the all-time leader in batting average at 366, which is...
He had almost 300 triples, which is crazy to think of, and over 700 doubles. So you think about his extra base hits. I mean...
Yeah, he has almost 4,200 hits. He's at 4189.
A bunch of stolen bases, too.
Yeah.
Almost 900.
Yeah, 9 stolen bases.
I mean, he did it all, you know. And I'm sure if they had gold gloves back then, too, he might have a few of those.
Really, I think he falls more in line with, I don't know. There's controversy around him, but it's not controversy as in, like, he cheated the sport. It's not like steroids or betting on baseball or anything like that. It's just he was, like, mean and dirty and
The most hated person.
Yeah,
in
and
baseball history.
everybody hated him.
Yeah.
The sharpened cleats.
Yes.
You know, you read the stories about him beating up a guy with no hands in the stands. I don't know if you heard that one before. Yeah.
Now, here's what I'll say
Look it
about
up,
this
I'm
stuff.
telling you.
Obviously, I have no idea what's true and what's not true.
Sure.
But a guy, and I can't remember the name, I should have looked it up before we got here, but a guy just a handful of years ago wrote a book about Ty Cobb and how majority of the stories we know about Ty Cobb are not true.
Kind of exonerating him from
Yeah,
a lot of that. Yeah.
Ty Cobb got into some sort of, I don't know, disagreement that like became like physical. They got in a fight with a reporter from Detroit, and for the rest. And that was like early in his career. And for the rest of Ty Cobb's career, this guy would write hellacious stories. Like, some of them are like so hellacious, there's no way you could believe them.
That's what I said. Like the story of him beating up a guy in the stands that didn't have any hands.
Well, here it is. One guy, he didn't have a hand and most of his fingers on the other. And Cobb said, "I don't care if he doesn't have hands, I'll kick his butt anyway." And then he becomes kicking him with his cleats.
Damn.
He said something like, I'd kick his ass if he didn't have feet either, something like that.
Yeah,
You
oh my
know?
gosh.
Good for him.
But yeah, he had a really short fuse, you know, and he got labeled as racist and he got labeled as a lot of stuff. And then like the book you're talking about came out, it's like they kind of hyperbolized that a lot to, you know, because this reporter just was.
I think it was like an argument over a woman or something. Like, Ty Cobb was hitting on his wife, or they were arguing over the same woman in a bar or something. I can't remember, right? I can't remember, but they had some sort of dispute between the two of them, and this reporter just made it his life's work to try and ruin Ty Cobb's reputation. Yeah. Which apparently, whether Ty Cobb also was an asshole and this guy did this, or Ty Cobb was a decent person and this guy did this, I have no idea. But apparently it worked, because today, 100 years later, we're still talking about how he's the most hated man in baseball history and how he's an asshole and all this stuff.
Talk about it in movies. The Field of Dreams. They talk about how everybody hates him.
Yeah.
So since everyone just blurted out their number 3 randomly, I'm just Mickey Mantle's my number 3.
Well, hold on. Did we even talk about King Griffey?
I'm with Ray. Can we talk about King Griffey?
Yeah, we didn't talk about King Griffey.
I'll write down my number 3 like everybody else.
Okay.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. Well, that's my number. Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Who else has got a man on both sides of the way?
Oh, you got him too?
Yeah. Okay, so 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are we talking about first, Mickey or Griffey?
Go with Griffey.
Yeah, I guess he was the first guy we brought up. So.
Well, he's got his MVP, 13-time All-Star, 10 Gold Gloves, 7 Silver Sluggers, 2,700 hits, 630 home runs, and he batted 284. And he was just an icon.
Well, the crazy thing is, everybody talks about, like Alex briefly talked about it last episode, about him being maybe the greatest what if, or one of the greatest what ifs ever. And he's a what if that hit 630 home runs still.
Yeah.
And won 10 straight Gold Gloves.
And the only guy not juicing in that era.
Yeah.
Right.
It might have been better than all of them for a period of time.
Well, everyone talks about Sosa and McGuire hitting them. Didn't he still end up with like 60 home runs?
He consistently had in the
56.
50s and 60s.
I mean, he
yeah.
kept up with them
for a while until
Yeah.
August.
He hit,
and
he
he
hit
hit-
56 home runs back-to-back seasons.
And he
Yeah.
hit more home runs than both of them for his career.
Right.
I mean,
You
he's
think-
like 6th or 7th all time in home runs.
You think about early in his career whenever he broke his ankle on the wall,
Mhm.
and then, you know, he bounced back like nothing. Came back and still mashing the ball and playing great defense. Don't get me wrong, just because I didn't put him on the list doesn't mean I don't love the dude, you know. But
Well, let me ask you this, Ray, as a Reds fan. What is your relationship like with Ken Griffey? Because, I mean, you have him on your list, so obviously you think he's great, but he essentially came to your city and stayed hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those years are not really what anybody would have wanted out of him. So my memory is mostly Mariners
Mm-hmm.
with the whole 90s. But, I mean, it was cool that he came to the Reds, and I think his dad was still there, the batting coach or something, and they kind of connected as father and son. But other than that, he really didn't do anything for the Reds.
They're the only
kind of finished out.
they're the only father-son duo to hit back-to-back home runs in an MLB game. They did that with the Mariners.
Yeah, they did with the Mariners.
So pretty cool feat.
And I remember I used to burn the shit out of that Ken Griffey Jr. baseball and Super
Mm.
Nintendo, dude. That was a good time.
Well, I think we talked. I don't think. Did we talk about it on the air? About how you and me used to always play MLB the Show.
We did. We talked about it a couple
We
weeks
made
ago,
our
I think.
fantasy teams. Well,
Yeah.
Ken Griffey was on my team every time.
Yeah.
Even though his ratings were down because of all of his injuries, I still put him on my team every time.
Mm-hmm. No, okay. I think King Griffey, he was one of the guys I was talking about when I said last week we're going to talk about like 6 guys that have a case to be the greatest of all time, and I was including King Griffey in that. And if you want to play the what-if game, Griffey, like Wade said, is one of those guys that has one of the best cases. Like, if he wouldn't have gotten hurt over and over and over again in Cincinnati, what would his number? Like you said, he hit 630 home runs anyway.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
spent the whole second half of his career injured. Like, that's how nuts it was. And he won 10 straight Gold Gloves at one point. This is how this will really help prove your point, Alberto. He won 10 straight Gold Gloves and has 630 home runs, and his WAR rating is not very good. It's 83
Wow, why is it so low?
because WAR's dumb. Like, you
Well,
have
that's true.
630 home runs and have 10 straight Gold Gloves and stole bases earlier in your career. What is there to pick on? Why does he have such a terrible WAR?
I don't know, and he played center field, so they give
Yeah.
him points.
And he still played
Right.
over 2,600 games. So yes, he got injured a lot, but he still played a lot of games. So I mean,
Well, he only had 38 triples.
oh well, I guess that just really
Yeah.
derails it all.
I guess that's it.
Those 630 home runs don't count without the triples. That extra base really ruins it.
he kind of changed the way the game was played a little bit too. Like maybe the fan base, you know what I mean? Like, he was my first favorite player. You know, that's why I like the Mariners.
Yeah.
That's why I am a Mariners fan. I grew up watching the Cubs with Grandpa, and that was cool. I liked the Cubs, and then I saw this guy. I'm like, he is not the same as everybody else.
Well, I'll say this:
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a Mariners fan,
Right.
but watching King Griffey Jr.
Neither did I.
was
It
must see
just- it just
TV.
happened that way.
No, it was must see TV. Like, when he was on, you watched. King Griffey Jr. was so exciting on both sides of the field. Defense, offense.
You never knew what to. I mean, you had to watch him because if you
Yes.
didn't, you're gonna miss something.
He's
for
not
sure.
some, big bumbling slugger that they had to DH or stick at first because he couldn't do anything. Like, he's making all these miraculous diving plays in the outfield. He's running up the wall and catching balls and robbing home runs, and he's doing all these crazy things because he was an athlete. Like,
yeah.
and he had the prettiest swing in baseball, maybe in baseball history.
That's one of the most iconic things is his backwards hat in the home run derby.
Yeah, he won 3 of those damn
Yeah,
things.
he killed
Yeah.
people in that. Because the swing is perfect. It's
Yeah,
great.
The guy weighed 195 pounds. He wasn't muscle bound out there just
Right.
mashing. He just had the perfect swing.
To be honest, to begin his career, he might not have even weighed that. He
Yeah.
was pretty skinny when he first started.
He was. He was.
But my favorite King Griffey memory, I mean, I was alive for the majority of his career, but I was pretty young throughout most of it. But later in his career, I make sure I got the right year. I think it was 2007. When he's 37 years old, he finally has like a real healthy season with Cincinnati. Since his very first season there, he was healthy for that one, but then like 6-7 seasons of just injury, And I remember because it was all over ESPN, and he made the Sports Illustrated magazine this year and everything, and it was just everybody was so happy that he stayed healthy for a season, even though he's 37 years old, and he hit 30 home runs and had 93 RBIs. It's almost a 40-year-old man, just because he stayed healthy at 37 years old, and everyone was all excited, and he was still playing out in the outfield too. So I mean, it wasn't. I mean, at least some. I'm sure he moved around a little bit, but
No, he was still out there doing the damn thing in Cincinnati and stuff. But I remember him coming back to Seattle, and that was a big deal.
oh, that there at the very end.
Mhm.
He hit 19 home runs his first year back in
Mhm.
Seattle.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he hit a home run, and then Ichiro followed up and hit a grand slam, or like a few batter that same inning or next inning. It was cool to watch them play together.
I mean, he pretty much came back as a 40-year-old man
Yep.
with a dad bod and
Yep.
DH for like 100 games and hit 20 home runs. I mean,
I will say this though, that that Mariners team was cool. Like
dude.
it wasn't just Griffey. Jay Buhner was cool as shit.
He's a scary motherfucker.
Dude, he
Badass
was,
motherfucker.
dude. He's like that guy that like you're like, dude, you better hope he doesn't charge the mound.
It's
He
like
might kill somebody.
Like you mixed Danny Trejo with Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
That was that dude.
Yeah.
You wouldn't mess with him.
Edgar Martinez was there.
young A-Rod.
Young A-Rod. Randy Johnson was there.
Yeah.
I really wish they would have won a championship. That would have
Yeah.
that would have made them such
Well, they
more iconic. Like,
you probably know, buddy. They had the record for most wins in a season.
They,
How many games was it?
I
Do you
think it was 118, 112, something.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in between there.
And
yeah.
but then they flamed out and lost in the first round of playoffs. Like it was one of those. We were like, oh man, what happened to these guys?
well, might be one of those things where who did they have behind Randy Johnson? Because I mean,
Was Jamie Moyer there then?
116.
116.
Yeah, it was
116.
Moyer.
Moyer. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Well, Moyer was pretty solid.
Even at 48 years old.
Trying to think, did they lose to the Yankees?
I think
I think
was
they lost to
thinking
the
that.
they lost to the Yankees. I think in the first round.
Was that 98, buddy?
One of those years they lost to the Yankees for sure.
Yeah.
2001 was
Oh,
their good
2001.
season.
Okay.
Yeah. That was Ichiro's rookie season.
Oh, in 2001, Griffey, A-Rod, everybody we talked about is not there in 2001.
Really?
Lou Piniella was coaching.
They're all gone. That's like
Yeah.
Mike Cameron and Ichiro.
Doesn't Randy Johnson beat them in Arizona?
Yeah, Griffey's already been in Cincinnati for a couple of years. A-Rod is probably in Texas.
So they got
Yeah.
Freddie Garcia, Aaron Sele, Paul Abbott, Jamie Moyer, and Kazuhiro Sasaki.
It's Aaron Seeley.
Seeley, yes, you're right. Sele. Brett Tomko was there. Ooh, look out.
Ooh, Tomko.
I think Johnson would have won a World Series with the Diamondbacks
Yeah.
around that time.
Because that's one of the years the Yankees said they
Yeah.
they should have won the World Series.
That was Schilling and
Schilling.
Randy Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, they killed
They
everyone.
pitched like every other game. They wouldn't let anybody else pitch.
Well,
Like,
why the hell would you not let them?
and everyone wanted the Yankees to win because
not everybody. I tell you right now, not everybody.
Well,
wanted
everyone
the
wanted them to
Yankees.
win because 9/11 happened.
Yes, I remember that.
Listen to the age of this team. Dan Wilson, 32. John Olerud, 32. Brett Boone, 32. David Bell, 28. Al Martin, 33. Edgar Martinez, 38. Jay Buhner, 36. Stan Javier, 37. Like, they just had an old crew. The young man holding the pack, Carlos Guillen and Ichiro at 27.
Was Mike Cameron there at that time?
Yeah, he was 28.
I remember him there for some reason.
He had 25 dingers that year.
Mike Cameron was good for a little while.
I'm looking at old Jay Buhner on here. Let's see here. Oh, he's actually older than I thought. He came in the league at 87. Well, his career numbers are not impressive.
Not at all.
But I loved Jay Buhner back in the day. I mean, he had 3 straight 40 home run seasons, though.
Flash in the pan.
He's like, his claim to fame is, remember when he completely cleared the fence to catch that home run? Like he jumped over the fence and like cleared it completely and caught the ball like 5 yards past the fence, or not 5 yards, like 5 feet on the other side of the fence. Anyway, all right. So now we need to talk about Mickey Mantle.
Correct.
All right. Wade?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty easy. He's just one of the most iconic players in the history of baseball and the most iconic team in the history of baseball. And he was in the middle of one of their biggest stretches of greatness, and he was the best player on the team for a while. And, I mean, well over 500 home runs, just like every other outfielder we talk about. Over 1,500 RBIs, and, I mean, he was just a powerhouse guy. Won 3 MVPs. 7 World Series, 20 All-Stars, Triple Crown, Gold Glove, batting title, Player of the Year. I mean, it's just a great all-time iconic player.
Yeah, but the year he won the Triple Crown, he won MVP. What the fuck?
He's a Yankee.
Yeah.
He is a Yankee. And his Triple Crown numbers are, wow.
52, 130, and 353.
Yeah, the 52. I mean, yeah. The thing that really got me with him was, I mean, obviously you have over 500 home runs, you're a monster. And he batted almost right at 300, but his walks. The man got on base by getting walks a lot.
1,700 at least.
Yeah. I mean, he led the league in, 5 times? His on-base
6.
percentage is
Oh, wait, no, it is 5.
over 420.
Yeah, his 1 year his on base percentage is 700.
Yeah. So, I mean,
That's insane.
That's pretty dirty.
he's nuts. He led the league in slugging percentage 4 times, OPS like 5 or 6.
I think you were looking at his slugging percentage, Drew. I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Because getting on base
I was about to say,
70% of the time would be like.
he does have an
absolute-
on-base percentage over 5. He got on base 51% of the time one year.
I can get them all confused looking at them.
Yeah, you were looking at slugging percentages right next to each other, but yeah, he's just an all-time great player.
He is. He is.
He is.
Another guy that didn't he tear his knee up out in the outfield, and that kind
Yeah.
of robbed him of part of his.
I think
career.
he stepped on a sprinkler.
Yeah, or in a hole where a sprinkler was at.
It was
Yeah.
like a drainage
Tore up
thing or
his-
something.
Yeah, something like
'cause
that.
he-
Yeah.
When he first came up, I think he had a lot of speed. I mean,
Yeah.
And then after that, it was never the same, running wise.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers just in general kind of all. I mean, he still hits some dingers, but things go downhill pretty quickly. So yeah, unfortunately, well, back then when something like that happens, you're kind of screwed.
I mean, we've talked about it many a times with some of these older players. I mean, look, Gale Sayers.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, shit. Even as late as Penny. That was the mid '90s when he tore up his knee, and they couldn't fix him real. Now it's like, oh, you tore your ACL, we'll have you back in 8 months. Don't worry about it.
Well, like with Penny, they could fix it, but you wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Back with Mickey Mantle, they might even be able to fix it.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. They probably didn't even fix
Yeah, I
it
think
back
he was
then.
in pain.
They
for
just
a
amputate,
long
really.
time.
Yeah. So like it was.
So what if I said I'd rather have DiMaggio than Mantle? Would you call me crazy?
I would ask why.
I mean, you talk about the what ifs, the what ifs. I mean, he played 700 less games than Mantle
Okay.
and still compiled very similar numbers besides the home runs. So if you talk about the what ifs, stuff like that, I mean, DiMaggio still had 1,500 RBIs.
Well, I mean, the knock on DiMaggio is the shortness of his career.
Right.
I mean, he ended his, was it just being an alcoholic? Is that why he had to retire, or was something wrong with him?
They said his heel, something about his heel, and it was no longer fun for him. He had an issue with his foot. But go ahead.
I was just going to make a joke. Go ahead.
I mean, he played 700 less games, 700 less games than him, and the numbers are pretty close except for the home runs.
I'll tell you numbers. I got them pulled up side by side.
I mean,
Mantle has 200 and 200 some more runs. I mean, runs. I'm talking about, and then he has 200 more hits. 201 more hits. DiMaggio has 50 more doubles, 40 more triples. Mantle has 200 more home run, or almost 200 more home runs.
Right.
And DiMaggio has more RBIs.
Yeah.
By
And
like 20.
He's got 9 World Series. He's got 3 MVPs. He's made the All-Star game 13 times. I kind of I was just curious about the what if on DiMaggio because he was also one that I was kind of considering too for the top list. You know, so the guys that I considered, you know, on here, the average games played between them was 2,774. Just on average between the group. DiMaggio played 1,700. So if you the difference is over 1,000 games. So if you take his per game averages and let's just say give him 2,500 games played, or 2,700 games played, I should say, you're talking 3,500 hits, 600 doubles, 200 triples, 575 home runs, and 2,500 RBIs. Will he keep that pace the whole time? I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe not, but that was just his per game averages. So DiMaggio is one I was considering too, like the what if, because those numbers speak a little bit louder than the rest of them on the page. Looking at like that, 2,500 RBIs, 600 home runs, 200 triples. You know,
he's also he batted 325.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was one thing I looked at with Mantle because I had him on my list too. It's like I'm no knock on him. Obviously, I didn't get in the bleachers and watch him play or anything, you know, but
why not?
But you know, I was Mantle, DiMaggio, Griffey. You know, there was a lot of what if in there and stuff like that. So, but I just thought it was cool. I looked at the numbers and it's like, holy shit, that guy, if he would have played, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, Wade.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think DiMaggio's obviously another iconic Yankee.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
obviously.
Yeah, he's iconic for more than just baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maryland, baby. Maryland.
To make it simple, I mean, the reason I chose Mano because he hit a lot more home runs and he got on base more. That's why I went with him.
Fair enough. And you know, I think it would have been a lot more lopsided if he would actually play the games, and that is the knock on DiMaggio, is the longevity that he had. You know, so I could accept the Mantle fact, that's for sure. I just thought it was real. I was curious your side of the argument if I brought up DiMaggio, how you would feel about that.
Yeah. But then you got to throw in the what if with Mano. His
Sure.
last 6 seasons,
Sure.
he could barely walk. So, I mean, I don't know. The what if game is tricky. We learned this in basketball.
Oh, absolutely. You
No,
can still swing a bat if you can't walk, let's be real.
It is interesting though that DiMaggio has 27 points on him in batting average, but Mantle's on base percentage is higher.
Yep.
It is. His walks were nuts. He drew a lot of walks.
Mantle had 1,733 walks. DiMaggio, over his 1,700, he only had 800 walks. 790.
I mean, I was going to... I'll save it till the end. Never mind. But, yeah. I mean, if DiMaggio plays more years,
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're definitely... might have a completely different top 3. But
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just... I don't know. He just
Absolutely.
didn't do
Mantle is 8th all time on the walks list.
it. Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
And he didn't play. I mean, he played a while, but he didn't play as long as some of the people. Like some guys back then played 24 years.
No, Ty Cobb played 3,034 games, and Mantle
Yeah.
played 2,400.
Ty Cobb played you said that
Yeah.
Mantle played 700 more than DiMaggio.
Yeah,
Ty Cobb played
same.
over 700 more than Mantle.
Right, and I'm sure if you do the numbers
So
the same
Ty
way,
Cobb
yeah.
played 1,400 more games than Joe DiMaggio. That's nuts.
That is
That was
pretty
my
insane.
stand.
Okay.
So it squeaked on me when I moved it.
That is insane. 1,300 more games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna go out and assume we all have the same number 1.
Yeah. I would
But
hope so.
does anybody have anybody else? Because I'm lost to where we're at. Does anybody else have anybody other than that person on our list? Do we have any 2s or 3s left?
I just have my number 1.
I have my number 1. Yep.
So I'm assuming everybody's number 1 is William Hayes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good deal.
Say hey.
Yes.
Oh, not that. There we go.
Carlos Beltran was a close 4.
Out of all
Saw him
honesty,
in
I
this.
liked Carlos Beltran a
Yeah.
lot when he played.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
like a 5-tool guy,
Little
too. He
switch
did
hitter.
a lot of stuff.
Throwing that switch hitting.
He was good. Maybe not on the level of some of these guys, but he was very good.
Sure.
Well, who else do we consider for the list before we talk about Willie Mays?
Well, I considered DiMaggio, I did, but the one thing I was hung up on also was the longevity. I considered Mantle, but I went with Tris Speaker.
I mean, we got 5 guys. We said guys considered DiMaggio, guys considered Beltran. I'm trying to think who else
Really, after the guys we have up there right now, it drops off.
It does.
It drops off a lot. Like
Yeah.
other guys that we came up with, was Mike Trout, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys.
I mean-
Trout doesn't stand up,
No.
at all.
So if I gave you a task of putting together a 10-year stretch, would Griffey make your number one? Would Trout make that?
I mean, Griffey'd
If you
be up
just give
there,
a
but
10-year stretch.
Willie Mays
right.
Willie Mays may have the strongest case for the greatest player of all time. Like, Willie Mays' numbers are stupid. Like, he's got 660 home runs. We just talked about Griffey's 630. He's got 660, but he also has 3,000 hits. And with, a career batting average over 300. I mean, that's and he was playing center field at a great level. He has 12 Gold Gloves.
12 Gold Gloves.
I think that's the most, actually, besides Greg Maddux.
Yeah, it's 18 or whatever he's got.
Yeah.
Don't forget about his 24 All-Star games.
24 All-Star games.
That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got a World Series. He's got a batting title. He's got 2 MVPs. He's the Rookie of the Year. He's obviously in the Hall of Fame.
Do you know that? I mean, obviously Ty Cobb and Speaker, but the other guys didn't have the Rookie of the Year. When did that start?
I don't know.
I'm curious
I don't-
because,
I don't know.
like, if Mays has one, you would.
That's quite a while ago.
Well, I told you guys last week Ted Williams' rookie numbers. He didn't win a Rookie of the Year.
Right.
So, I mean,
I'm
I assume
guessing
that
it wasn't around.
I'm guessing it wasn't around for him.
Because he didn't have Gold Gloves or...
We never know Ted Williams. They might have just said, give it to a Yankee. But, I mean, I think the GOAT conversation in baseball is harder than the other 2 main sports because there's just so much history and so many all-time great players that, especially, that had all these crazy numbers, and some guys played for so long, and it's really hard. But I think almost everyone you talk to, Willie Mays is at least in the conversation or in everyone's top 3 or 4. Or, Like he's right there at the top, if not right at the at number 1 for some people. Like he's crazy.
He is. I mean,
over-the-shoulder catch.
yeah.
Yeah.
That may be the
That
most
is-
famous play in baseball history. It's
That's-
shown all the
yeah.
time.
That's what I'm
Still to
saying.
this day.
Like, even whenever, like, how they have the intros to TV shows or, like, it's the Willie Mays.
Yep.
Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch. Wasn't that in the World Series also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year,
Like,
every year they opening titles of the World Series, it's
Yeah.
normally him running. And
Yeah.
It's not just that he runs and makes that catch. He spins and throws it into the infield because there's somebody on base.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
so crazy.
And then he missed that time serving in the military also. So you just think also, I mean, he could really, have a push
Yeah.
to
His-
have 800 home runs.
his
Like,
thir-
he missed
his-
3 years, 4 years?
It says on here he missed 1.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was more than that.
he
So I
would still have
apologize.
700 home runs, though.
Right,
Yeah,
like
you would
but
think,
it's
yeah.
his 3rd year in the league that he misses time. So it's not like it's like
I thought he missed
Yeah.
another year also for some. I think he only played like 20 games that 1 year. So I think he missed 2 seasons.
it could be. It doesn't say it on here. Is all I'm saying. I don't. It may have been. I didn't look up the military
he could
service
have
for
a
him.
push real easily for 750 if that's the case.
Could have been. The year before he's gone for the military, he only played 34 games.
Okay.
So that could be it.
Yeah, I think that might be what.
Could be.
Yeah, didn't they? I mean, I don't even know who would know this for sure, but didn't they all get called to service in the middle of a season? Wasn't the season playing when they all got when the war started, or we decided to go over there, and then that's why they started that girls' league to hold it together until the guys got back.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Pearl Harbor would have been in December.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that next spring would have been.
This would have been Pearl Harbor. This was 1953.
53. 53.
Was it been Korea?
Korea.
It's
It
been
been Korea. He would have missed World War II.
Right, yeah, I was thinking because that's when Musial and Williams were World War II, I think.
Yeah, they missed World War. Well, Ted Williams missed both.
Right.
Ted Williams flew planes in Korea.
Yeah. So yeah, 53 would have been Korea.
Yeah.
But I don't know the timeline on that. I don't know when
Yeah.
they called people up for that.
So, yeah, I don't know either. But I'll just go a few more things for Willie Mays because I don't feel like we've really done him justice. He led the league in home runs 4 times. He led the league in stolen bases 4 times.
You either see one or the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's got almost 350 stolen bases.
Yeah, he kind of quit stealing bases. Like he has 4 straight seasons where he leads the league in steals, and then he's pretty much just like, yeah, I'm done. He leads the league. He wins the batting title. He leads the league in slugging percentage 5 times. He leads the league in OPS 5 times. Yeah. He leads the league in triples 3 times. He's got 141 career triples.
How many World Series did they go to?
One, we'll go to, I don't know, but he's only got 1 victory.
I know he only has 1 ring. I'm curious how many World Series they went to.
How many of these guys did he overlap with? Because I think Mel Ott was before him, right? But he overlapped with McCovey, right? Him and McCovey played together.
Yeah, they played together. Yeah.
Because I mean, those 3 are all really, really good.
I don't think Ott played with them.
Yeah, I thought Ott was older than them for some reason. Somebody want to look up Ott while I look up McCovey? Anybody?
Nope.
Oh, everybody's on their phones. I figure someone's doing
Yeah.
it.
All right, Willie McCovey. Yeah, he definitely. It looks like he played almost the exact same time
Yeah,
as.
they were
so
together.
they would have played together.
Covey cool.
I was just trying to look up notable teammates of his, but
Well, our
didn't work out.
next week will be in McCovey's position, I think.
You want Ott, right?
Yeah, Mel Ott.
His last
What was
year
he last?
was
47.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah, so he's before them. Yeah.
I think he's right field.
But I don't want to get too much into McCovey because we could potentially be talking about him next week. But oh no, it says left field on here.
Is he left?
Well, maybe we just didn't talk about him last week.
He's one of the corner outfielders.
Sorry, Willie.
I knew that.
Sorry, Willie.
But I mean, he is a great player, and he's clearly a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's got an MVP and a Rookie of the Year. He's got 500 home runs. So led the league in home runs 3 times.
He has 1,300 extra base hits.
Yeah. Well, let's just click a season here, one of these random Giant seasons, see who's on the team with these 2 guys.
I think his 12 Gold Gloves, we said, is record for outfielder.
I think so. Felipe Lou is on this team as well.
I'm having trouble communicating.
Alexa.
Shut up, Alexa.
Technology.
Damn it. Every week.
She always comes on.
I know.
For weird things. I said,
Yeah, the first time I was
Don't
like,
say it again.
yeah, I know, I almost did, and I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
most time. I think the first time was just when we said Alex, but now it's just for the randomness stuff. It's just
All right. Well, anyway, Willie Mays is really great, and we all had him, so he's on the list. So we have King Griffey Jr. with 5. So, buddy, what we got to do to get you to bring King Griffey to the list?
All right. Well, he is one of my favorite players of all time. I promise you he is. But just
Or instead of
what
doing
can
that,
I do to
goes
get you
right.
5?
instead of doing that, how about you jump on the Mantle train?
Hear me out.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's just one more thing I want to say about Tris Speaker before I go ahead and say I'm going to ride the kid, okay? The kid train. So, King Griffey Jr., I will accept those terms. But who is one of the greatest players that you can think of whenever it comes to never striking out?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony
Yeah.
Gwynn, right? That's the first person that comes to your mind.
yes.
Yeah.
So Tony Gwynn averaged 1 strikeout every 21.4 at-bats.
Okay.
Tris Speaker averaged 1 strikeout every 27 at bats.
That is
Which
impressive.
I know the pitching is different then and there, but that is still pretty outstanding.
We are definitely going to we go against or have Tony Gwynn's position next week.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. So yes,
think
I
he'll
will
make
accept
it.
the terms.
No.
I will jump onto the Ken Griffey Jr. train.
So Tris Speaker is off and Tony Gwynn is on, eh?
King Griffey.
or yeah, what did I say?
You said
Tony Gwynn.
Oh, Tony Gwynn. Yeah, my bad.
Oh my
bad.
gosh.
Not even the right position. All right.
Wow, preview for next week, Alex. Thank you.
All right. So that leaves us with Ty Cobb and Mantle. And essentially, there's nobody to trade. It's just you two have to come to us, or we four have to come to you. There is no.
That sounds
like,
good. Yeah, just come over.
I ain't coming over. I'll stick with my boy, T.Y.
I definitely feel a lot.
T.Y. Hilton's Ty Cobb.
I definitely.
Hey, I just want to say, fuck T.Y. Hilton right now. He signed with the Cowboys, so he
He
can kiss
did.
my ass.
He did. He betrayed
So-
us. He doesn't want to be on our losing ass team.
What were you gonna say, Alex?
I was just gonna say I feel stronger about my third guy this week than I did last week. Last week I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll switch. But this week I don't feel that way.
Well, here's
Ty
Here's
Cobb's
what I
over
would
too.
do. I won't even go into how much I hate old shit. Ty Cobb has, the amazing batting average, the amazing amount of hits. There's nothing to even say to even try and downplay any of that. But then Mantle has 400 more home runs, but they got on base at almost the same exact rate. So, yeah, Cobb got a lot of base hits, but they got on base almost the same exact amount. And Mantle hit 400 more home runs
the game is a lot different. Even
Well,
when
Ty
Mantle
Cobb had
played.
400 more RBIs.
and played like 7 more seasons
And-
and played in the shit era where everyone did all
Well,
that shit.
what I'm saying is,
That's what we're gonna talk
I just
about,
gave
right?
the
It's
I just
over.
gave the
I'm doing it
example
now.
of DiMaggio not playing as many games as Mantle, but you can also make that argument that Mantle didn't play as many games as Ty Cobb.
Indeed.
So if you run the numbers kind of like I did, he might have.
We could,
You
Come
can play
on.
that what if game.
Come on, wait,
we
Ty
could what
Cobb.
if Mantle at the end of his career and
Ty-
say he would have had much better stats.
But
than
Ty
he
Cobb
was
is such a
first grade.
lovable guy.
Come
on, Wade.
Oh man,
I mean,
I thought you liked stolen bases, Wade.
I do.
900 to 150.
I like them to happen within the past 100 years.
They did. Well,
When
close,
you steal on
close.
someone throwing a 60-mile-an-hour palm ball, and then a guy throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, there's a difference there. Like he was playing against people that played baseball in the summer for extra money, and then Mantle played against professional baseball players. That's the difference. That is the absolute difference.
where the average fastball was still 60 miles per hour.
There were
So-
criminals that got Major League Baseball professional jobs because they couldn't get another job, so they just let them play baseball.
Well,
That's a real thing.
We gave the argument last week about not including Pete Rose, even though he had all the hits and he had all the numbers and the runs and so
This
you
is
can kind of
true.
play the both way.
Yeah, but his average is 366.
That is pretty outrageous. Looking at the stats, there's only two like the only thing that Mantle has more over him is
Home runs.
the home runs and walks.
Yeah, it's like, because like I said, it is weird that he has 400 more RBIs and 400 less home runs.
I think if we represent it with Mays, Cobb, and Griffey, we have one player from each significant era of baseball. So that's just my opinion.
Can you repeat that? What'd you say?
I said I think if we have Cobb, Mays, and Griffey, you will have one player from each significant era of baseball.
Yeah, I like that.
If you go up Mantle, you still got the same situation.
So we'll take Mays out for Mantle, right?
No, negative.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying.
I mean, because they play at the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we don't really
He's considering it right now.
Oh no, Ray's about to take his vote off for freaking Billy Mays. Oh no.
Oh, Willie Mays?
No.
Oh,
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not doing that. Willie Mays is already on.
I confused you.
gotcha. Oh,
By the way, here's another thing I was thinking about the other day because I was looking at some of these guys' numbers. When did they start keeping track of ground into double play?
Oh, that I have no idea.
Because I mean, Speaker and Ty Cobb don't have it, which I didn't expect them to.
Right.
But some of these older guys like Mays and Mantle and Ted Williams, they have them, but they're really low. So I'm like, I don't think they had them for their whole career.
Right.
I
just came in
don't know
late.
because I was looking up Tris Speaker, and they said that he's the all-time leader in outfield assists. So I don't know if they went back and looked at that.
How would they?
But
That's like the 1800s.
He's also
Yeah.
he's also the all-time leader in double plays turned. They said he would play such shallow center field that he would catch the ball and take like 3 steps and step on second base.
What? This is why I don't like that shit. This is why I don't like
Buddy,
it.
you can't say stuff like that for a way.
Like, so outfield assists were a thing and double plays were a thing.
But at the same time, Wade, the fields are bigger then, so maybe Mantle wouldn't have hit 500 home
He
runs
just proved everything.
because
He
the
played
fields are
3
so
feet off
huge.
second base in center field because no one hit it past him, probably. He was pulling double plays from center field.
I never.
I don't want to hear it. But yes, the ballparks were bigger back then. You were correct.
You ever play MLB The Show on the classic stadiums?
No.
Yeah.
632-foot home run, straight center. Yeah, it might
No,
not
I
know.
never have done that. That's
Dude,
It's interesting. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
You have some the porch like where
Yeah.
it's like 240 to the lines, and then like center field is like 580.
Yeah. So you're just trying to swing early here.
well, what state? There was a stadium back in the day when these guys played, like Cobb and Anson and Speaker and those guys, and they were saying they didn't have a fence. Like you just had to chase the
Yeah,
ball until you
right.
until you caught it. Like,
I remember reading that.
That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
by the way, well, Drew, I think it was you and I were talking about it. We had that meme where the A's decided to move their right field fence in to match the Yankees, and Major League Baseball got mad about it.
Yeah. Their general manager owner moved it.
Yeah, he moved the right field wall in.
He built a temporary wall out in right field. How far the Yankees one was just to do it. MLB told him to take it down.
So he
How far off was it?
Oh, he moved.
it was like they had a picture of it where he set bleachers up behind the new wall. It looked like it was 40 feet maybe.
Yeah. He just put like high school baseball bleachers there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people could sit out there in the outfield.
And then then after they made him change it, he drew a line in the outfield where the wall would be for the Yankees, and paid his announcer to say every time a ball went past it, and that would be a home run in Yankee Stadium.
That is good.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and this isn't even me trying to make an argument against Mantle, but stuff like that makes me wonder, like the Yankees have done this pretty much since the word go. So, but the Yankees have all the great players from that era. So, like, how much of their records and stuff are because they were like, hey, we're going to play in this rinky-dink little stadium.
It could be.
Well, then we also had the discussion, I think it was off air a week or two ago, about Maris,
Yeah.
about home runs in
What about him?
Yankee Stadium versus home runs when he played elsewhere.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I was here for that conversation.
Yeah, you might have left. Yeah. But, yeah, we talked about how pretty much Maris was an average player, home run wise, average, below average, until the 2 years he went to the Yankees and he had these huge home run seasons. Then he was done again.
Yeah, with the short porch.
Well-
And Mantle, they didn't want to pitch to Mantle.
Yeah, so they
pitched
pitched to
him.
Maris. Yeah.
Pitched Roger Maris
What-
instead.
Wasn't there for a while? They had like Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth, and then
Yeah.
DiMaggio came right at the end of them.
I don't know if he overlapped or not, but he was
Was
there
he-
right after him.
Wasn't,
Right
he,
after.
wasn't he the bridge between the
Yeah.
Mantle and Ruth and all that.
Yeah.
He was in
Well,
between.
Barra,
Right.
Barra played with somebody. Did Barra play with DiMaggio or Mantle?
Probably
I think he
DiMaggio.
played DiMaggio.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I know DiMaggio. I mean, DiMaggio won like 9 World Series. He played with some people.
Right.
They played with
yeah.
Joe
All
Gordon,
these dudes
obviously.
had-
All of them have like 7 plus
12,
World. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
7 to 12 World Series. They all.
Like they're all.
He
'cause
played
Mantle
with
is like the-
DiMaggio and Mantle and Whitey Ford.
Whitey Ford
Right.
too. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want this to last forever. So.
So here you go. Roger Maris. I know we were just talking about this. Roger Maris.
God damn it.
just real quick, but this
Okay.
is before he gets to New York. This is his home run numbers: 14, 28, 9, 19, 16. He goes to the Yankees, 39, 61.
Yeah.
Like,
100 home runs in 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Doesn't he fall off after that, though?
Yeah, and he falls off.
He went to St. Louis after that, didn't he?
yeah, his last 2 years of the
We know
league are
the
in St.
outfield's bigger
Louis,
there.
where he hits 9 and 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, we know the outfield's much bigger.
Man, they're gonna regret that $6,000 contract.
Yeah.
Well, okay. As you said, you didn't want this to take forever. What were you gonna say?
I do not. So, here. Okay, I'm trying to think how to word this without sounding like a asshole.
Good luck.
You say whatever you want.
Ty Cobb's big thing is the average in the hits.
Okay.
Are his base hits more important than his walks, and does it make up for 400 home runs? Because he got on base at almost the same exact rate, and he's 4 times better at hitting for.
Yeah,
power.
they're like it's like 421 to 433 on base
Yeah.
percentage. It's close. You're right on that. Also, their slugging percentage is very close. So obviously, the Ty Cobb doubling him on doubles and
Back then, everyone did triples and doubles.
and and triples made up for the home runs.
the triples were
Because there was no
ridiculous back
walls.
then. Or because people played 3 feet off second base and they had to chase the ball down.
You can't be telling stories about old baseball.
Yeah, I guess here's my thing. I told you I don't remember if this was on air or off air, where I said I planned on punishing Ty Cobb and
Right,
Tris Speaker
yeah.
for the time they played. I planned on it, but I couldn't find anybody that could match them in numbers.
Well,
Because I'm sorry, I'm just
no,
let
go
me
ahead.
say this real quick. And like his home run numbers are stupid more. I mean, there's I can't argue it. But then he had more RBIs than he did doing it, and his slugging percentage is almost as good. So I was like, well, then like he's got home runs and he's got everything else. And I was like,
Everything
I
And
don't
what
know.
if they switch roles? What if Ty Cobb plays for the Yankees and Mantle plays for the Tigers? Does Mantle get all his World Series, or does Ty Cobb get his 4,000 hits and 8 World Series?
Yeah,
Or does he get 2,800 hits because it's not 1,900 instead of
probably have
it's
20.
60?
Or does he have 400 or 500?
We're in the what if
home
game
runs?
again. It's not gonna,
Yeah.
We're not making any progress.
Instead of
To be
having
honest,
700 doubles,
we're
you
talking
probably
about
have
the
700 home runs.
Impressive, like prime numbers in a decent era. I would lean more towards his guy DiMaggio, but he doesn't have the longevity. And then Mantle he's in the middle.
Cobb,
That's why I went
Cobb
with
has
him.
the longevity, dude.
But no one likes.
Hey, here's what I'm gonna say, Wade.
Just-
Cobb has Mantle beat by 41 points in WAR.
They both played center.
The crazy part is Mantle has Griffey beat by like 30 points. In
Yeah,
WAR.
I know. It
Which
is
I don't
crazy.
understand.
I
So
don't
that
understand-
means
yeah,
Ty
I don't
Cobb has
understand
what?
either.
Like
60
Cobb.
points on Griffin.
Anybody that's listened to any baseball episodes knows I hate WAR. I just said that to
Yeah.
be funny.
Oh yeah, we all hate war. We don't talk about
What?
the comparing.
Yeah.
All right, Ray, we gotta.
What do you want to do?
I don't know yet. I was wanting advice.
Let's hear your argument, Ray. Let's. You're letting your partner over here doing all the explaining. Let's hear it.
Well, I just think that, I mean, he's pretty balanced out, as Ty Cobb's kind of top heavy in certain things. So I feel like that's what I kind of went with.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we're making any progress in this discussion.
We're not.
Not at all.
Top heavy. I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm
Like, okay, so we just discussed the eras.
yes.
Yeah.
So he padded the fuck out of it because he had nobody he had to play against.
I mean, he played at the same time as Babe Ruth.
Well, I mean,
Are you-
we'll get
are-
into, we'll
are
get
we
into
get-
that.
Are we gonna hate on Babe Ruth
Babe
next?
Ruth.
We'll get into that
I will next
week.
episode.
I mean, I will a little bit.
I'm not
I
saying I
mean,
won't put him on my
it-
list, but
It's kind of
He's
like
got to
the-
make he's got to make your list.
It's kind of like the argument we had during the what was it, the 50 NBA players,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we had the Bob Cousy episode, which Wade totally hated,
Still does.
but I supported Bob Cousy. But then as we went down the road, I said no and went off Bob Cousy, I think, or put him lower down the list
you lowered him
because
quite a bit.
because of the era he played in. So what
Well,
I'm trying to get at is that if Ty Cobb is over there playing criminals who has has like basic T-ball experience,
Who says these criminals aren't good at baseball? They were playing for their
They
lives,
just
right?
got out of prison. They
No,
don't
they
know.
weren't. So these criminals playing for their lives. If they lost, they would lose. I saw a TikTok about it. If the criminals lost, they would die. They, as long as they were winning games, they stayed alive. I saw this.
Talking about in prison?
No,
It's a movie with Jason Statham.
They just murdered people after baseball games?
What they were prisoners, yeah.
You went 0 for 3.
So I guess here's what I'll say, Ray. I understand what you're saying, but here's my retort to that. The difference is we were talking about Bob Cousy being like the first guy to do it, which is kind of like Ty Cobb, but Ty Cobb still holds all the records. Cousy doesn't hold anything anymore.
Kouzi's numbers don't stack up in the grand
Ty
scheme of
Cobb's
things.
more like a Bill Russell than a Bob Cousy. Russell still holds a bunch of rebounding records that can never be replicated because of the era he played in.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
How high did you have Russell on your list, Wade?
I had him as like my 6th center.
Okay. Ray, how high did you have Bill Russell?
Fuck, man.
Center, like, just center. Do you think he was in your top 3 at center?
Probably, maybe top 3. In
So then, why can't Ty Cobb be on yours?
Because I chose Mantle.
All right.
Do we need to go to the board just so we can speed this shit up?
I mean, we can go to the boards, or do we want to make a phone call?
Yeah, do we need
Who do we want
to
to call?
It has to be baseball fans. They can't be football or basketball fans at this point, which is harder.
Baseball.
My biggest baseball friend is Dalton. He's a huge baseball. None of my other friends even like baseball.
My biggest baseball friend is Schaller. I mean, other than Buddy, who's sitting here.
Bob knows a little bit about
Call
baseball.
me, Alex.
Let's not
Call me.
let's not call Schaller because I just like pooped on him like 2 straight.
Well, we don't got to tell him who's picking who. Just tell him to pick one.
Dalton's at work.
Yeah, the blind experiment.
Yes.
All
I
right.
mean, I could text my friends, but they probably won't.
Yeah,
They don't watch. They don't know baseball like that.
In the meantime,
What about Aaron, Dad? Yeah, Uncle Aaron would know.
It's also getting late.
Yeah,
I
Aaron might
will
be
play
bad.
into who we call.
I don't say you're not going to get Aaron. He gets up too early, probably.
Deliberations.
I don't know, guys.
I don't either.
We gotta do something to decide it, though.
Yeah.
I texted Dalton. At least be another opinion, I guess. I don't know.
What's his fandom?
He's a Cardinal fan.
I'm a Cardinal fan. By the way,
He's a big Cardinal
I
fan.
saw this yesterday. They had a map of the United States with all the states on it, and the team that is the team in each state that their citizens what team they watch the most games of. Illinois was the Cardinals.
it's
I can
crazy
see
how
that.
many.
Yeah.
Well, think they're also split on their own teams.
Yeah, that's true.
You
The
have
two Chicago
two-
teams.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, the Cardinals covered a huge area because of the radio station in St. Louis.
Hmm.
It was so powerful. It covered, southern Illinois, all of Missouri, Arkansas, down to Tennessee, Kentucky. Huge. There was a huge amount of Cardinal fans back when everything was on the radio because of, was it KMOX or whatever the station was they had back then.
Mm-hmm.
There was Cardinal fans in Oklahoma, where Mickey Mantle was from, because a lot of teams on the coast, they never heard about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We were talking about the Ty Cobb story earlier about how that person writing in the newspaper bad things about him. That was the only news of the time.
Right.
Like that was the only thing people could read about you. There wasn't like, well, I'm going to go check Twitter and see if this happened, or I'm going to go turn the TV
I
on.
was like, yeah, you couldn't even watch the news.
yeah.
And if it gets published across the country,
Your reputation.
Ty Cobb wouldn't know.
Right.
It's nothing. He wouldn't know out in California that they were talking about him beating up people.
There wasn't sports radio
Right.
like we listen to now.
Right.
They had the game on. When the game was over, they went on to something else.
Yeah. Soap operas. So, yeah.
On another side note for Mickey Mantle, he is, even though didn't you say earlier they didn't play a lot of postseason games back then?
Yeah.
He's still top 10 all time in postseason home runs. And Ty Cobb didn't get there very much from what I saw, but when he did, he struggled. He had a batting average of like 250 or 60 or something.
I don't know. I have to look.
Which Mantle's average wasn't much better, or might have been around the same, but he's top 10 all time in postseason home runs with 18.
That seems so low.
Yeah. Well, Manny's the
Well, when
all-time
you
leader.
have 7 World Series, 18 home runs seems low, but like, I mean, obviously it's not, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
if he won 7 World Series today, playing 3 rounds of 7-game series,
Right.
he'd probably have a lot more.
Well, here's the crazy
yeah.
part. The top 10 list is littered with newer players. Well, Manny is number 1. Carlos Correa and like Jose Altuve, I can't say his name,
Mhm.
are like up there.
Yeah.
There's
bet-
other
I bet-
newer players
I
that
bet
are.
David Ortiz is probably.
He's right below Mantle. He's like 11 or 12 or something like that.
So he's got to be.
'Cause Mantle was like tied for.
Ty Cobb made the playoffs 3 times in his career.
Yeah, I knew it was a small amount.
I bet Pujols is probably
Pujols was up there, I believe. Yes.
all the time. Cardinals made the playoffs.
He was closer to
every
the
year.
top, I think. But yeah. And Dalton hasn't texted me back yet, but it doesn't even matter. Even if we count his vote, we're still outvoted. So. But yeah. So
Well-
we're gonna give up, Ray, or what are we gonna do here?
That might be the plan.
Or go to the board to see if someone will secretly come to our side?
Yeah, let's go to the board and see if we get a mystery vote.
Okay. And then what? We're tied at 3-3 in this conversation. Goes on for another hour.
I'm all right with it. We can vote.
We can vote. That's fine.
We're gonna lose. What? We can't keep this episode going forever here. Okay. Hey, buddy, I dare you to write down DiMaggio.
I actually wrote down speaker.
Oh, okay.
Ty Cobb still wins.
It gets us closer.
3-2-1.
Is that everybody? Everybody got their answer written down?
Yeah.
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 All right. I wrote Cobb,
Cobb.
Mantle.
so it's 4-2.
Yep. Mr. Sneak Attack over there.
This episode is horse shit.
I mean, it's a good argument.
This
it really is.
This one, Wade or John Randall?
So let me ask you guys this, because this kind of played into the conversation we just had. Was if you have guys with similar runs scored, I heard a guy make this argument the other day, and I think they were talking about all-time great Red Sox. So they were talking about like Wade Boggs and like Mo Vaughn, and they were like, who was more important to their success during that time? And one guy was like, dude, Wade Boggs has like a 328 career batting average. He has 3,000 hits. Like, he was an on-base machine. He has like 6 batting titles. Like, and he played at the same time as Tony Gwynn has 6 batting titles. Like all this stuff. He's super important. And the guy's like, yeah, but he depended on Mo Vaughn to hit him in because he had a single every time.
That's
like, you know what I mean?
Case against Ichiro. Ichiro, like 3/4 of his hits were just slaps up the middle.
Yeah.
So his value, really, when you look at it, as tremendous as he was and amazing as a player as he was, there's limited value with that.
Yeah.
So
But should you punish a guy for getting on base? Not being able to hit
but
for power.
you're going to value someone who does more with the bat, who drives in more runs and gets more extra base hits and home runs.
But you got to do it the other way too. The guys that do that, someone has to be on base for them to get those.
That's why you look at RBIs besides
Yes.
Mhm.
on base percent.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta look at the total.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
It's not just one or two
Yeah.
things.
No, honestly, that's one of the reasons I love baseball so much, is because you can really get down into the numbers and you can talk about all these numbers, but they're all numbers I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you get into all these analytic bullshit, and I'm like, I can't figure that out. I don't know what the hell that is.
I had a thought when I was thinking about all these Yankee players that I'm not even sure what the answer is. Like when they automatically think of like, well, we can use Mantle or DiMaggio or
Mhm.
any of those
Sure.
Yankees, like they're all in these phenomenal teams, phenomenal all-time great, probably the greatest teams we've ever seen.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh, well, their stats are inflated because they played on all these great teams. Or are they deflated because they're playing with all these other great players who are also knocking in the other people maybe before they even get up to bat?
Well, their
That's the way
RBIs
to
may be
go.
lower, but I think it's the easiest way or the easiest sport to inflate your teammates. If I have 3 really good receivers, they're not going to put up as great a numbers as if I had 1 great receiver. Or in basketball, there's not enough shots to go around for 3 guys to score a bunch
But
of
in
points.
baseball, you all get to hit.
You all get to hit, and because of each other, you get better pitches.
And especially if you're drawing walks or someone scary in the lineups behind you, you're
Mhm.
gonna see.
Yeah.
I mean,
But like, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. I agree with that.
I mean, it's not going to take away batting average or on base percentage or home runs or anything. The only thing it's going to take from you is, like you said, is RBIs.
Yeah, because Mantl's batting 4, while one of the other all-time great players is batting 3. Well, he knocks him in, and then Mantle's got to lead off again.
Yeah.
And then he just gets a walk, or how many times Mantle's 4, and then once you get past the 1, 2, 3, and 4, then maybe the 5th guy's a small step back. Then they're just going to walk Mantle, or I don't know. There's just a lot that goes into it that can dictate your stats. It's just tricky.
Indeed it is. All right, so those that are listening, because I don't know that we made it overly clear, the 3 greatest center fielders in Sports the NEMO Way opinion are as follows: Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., and Ty Cobb. So yes, that will end the center field portion of this episode and move us into trivia. Drew, do you have one, sir?
Yes, I do. What U.S. president met with Babe Ruth in 1948?
I'm terrible at this.
I don't even know who the hell the presidents were. I don't know. Abe Lincoln.
If I say Roosevelt, I got a good shot.
Damn.
I can name off random presidents, but I don't know when. Was this person in office or not in office?
He was not in office at this
Okay.
time.
Holy shit.
All right, well, that changes.
I was gonna say that just that completely changes my answer. Like, well, that could be,
Let me see if this guy was even alive then.
that could be like quite a few presidents, I would assume. All they had to be was alive.
I don't even know. I'm just okay.
All right, I'm just right.
I'm just going with my answer.
Pull up my damn question.
Yeah, I just wrote an answer down. Forget it. I'm over it. That everybody got one?
Yep.
I was close, I guess.
Wade, you got one?
Yes, I have one. I'm just
All right, I said Truman.
Okay.
I said FDR.
I put Truman.
Okay.
Eisenhower.
Okay.
I also said Truman.
George H.W. Bush.
George.
In 48?
Yep. At Yale Field.
Where the?
Oh, God.
Okay.
And he was a president in the 90s?
I
His
guess he was
daddy.
young then.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying, the 90s.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daddy Bush.
Was he
How-
a kid?
No, he's playing for Yale this time. There's a
Playing
picture
for
of it.
Yale. Oh, okay.
He's playing baseball for Yale, and Babe Ruth's
Yeah.
there.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
well, so that means he probably would have been born around, if he's just in college then, he'd been born around 1930. If he's president in the 90s, he would have been 60-something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I guess that is.
Cool.
Yeah. I never would have guessed him, though.
No, I wouldn't either. I was thinking somebody at that time.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. All right, Wade, you got one, buddy?
I do. This one's made me kind of chuckle. What pitcher was born without a right hand and still achieved 87 wins in Major League Baseball?
I should know this guy's name.
I don't know why they find it so funny.
I should know this.
Yeah.
I think he threw a no-hitter, too.
He might have.
No way.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Damn.
I've heard the name before, but I didn't know like this.
If I'm right, I saw him pitch.
Your mic.
Sorry, if I'm right, I saw him pitch.
All right.
Not live, just on TV.
I gotta guess.
I can see him like flipping the glove, and
Yeah.
doing the thing, but I can't.
Ray, you better get this. I'm pretty sure Buddy got it. The guest is going to pull ahead.
Well, I don't.
He's
know.
already in
Well,
it.
I'm sorry, Wade. I'm
Pull ahead
disappointing you. I'm sorry. I'm such a disappointment.
You're not disappointing me, man. You keep
I
at
bet
it.
I ain't.
You keep at it.
Do you guys have an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote something down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said Jim Abbott.
Abbott.
Johnson.
No hand Johnson.
It is Jim Abbott.
Yeah, as soon as you said
That a boy,
Abbott.
that a baby. I actually just watched a video. I just watched him do it like a month ago. I've never watched it.
Well, and didn't he
'Cause he threw
play
a no-hitter for whenever he was
collegiate ball
playing.
for Michigan?
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
he pitched for the Yankees and threw a
gosh.
no-hitter.
Of course, a college came into it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Start calling Uncle Doug the professor.
Professor.
2 weeks in a row.
Gets all the college questions.
2 weeks in a row, I got a point.
All right, Uncle Doug, you got a question for us?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta watch the mic today. Sorry. All right. Last week I brought my guy Vince Coleman in. I'm gonna bring Vince in again tonight. Vince holds the record for most consecutive steals without getting thrown out. What is the record?
Ugh.
Closest gets the point. That's an exact number.
Consecutive? Do I want to do a lot? Do I think it's a lot, or
I don't know.
or do I want to go
That
low?
stole all the time back then.
That's what I'm saying.
They stole a lot of bases, but everyone knew they were stealing too, so they got caught.
Yeah. Some of these guys have like 300 or 400 caught stolen bases.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, so you like, I don't know.
I'll just. All right. I wrote a number.
Yeah, I wrote a number as well.
Yeah, I got
135 to 124. Magic win.
Oh. How did they make it a 1-point game?
I'm hoping it's not 1 point. It was
What was it?
24 to 35.
Oh, I thought you said.
It was a
They said
11-point game,
But
but
they said 125 to 124. I'm like, they just scored 50 in the first. Like,
no, I'm hoping it's because we pulled everybody and we were just
Yeah.
screwing around in the second half. But
Yeah. A win's a win.
yeah,
Hey, you won.
That's all that matters.
it's 4 straight.
Hey.
You guys have really been in a lot of games that even that you lost.
Well,
but-
we're starting to get healthy. That's the big thing for us. All right, is everybody got an answer?
Yeah.
All right, what you got, guys?
I put 7.
I put 36.
I put
Holy moly.
45.
I put 100.
Oh my.
51.
I definitely went low.
50.
That was close. I got 45.
Yep, 50 times.
Give me the point. Come on. Begging the judges. Judges?
I think that's a denial.
I was supposed to get that exactly right.
Not tonight.
We asked a lot of questions on this shit.
Yeah.
I'm only here for just a couple. Come on. I'm begging.
Buddy, you got a question?
I do, yeah. Okay. So, we all know Rabbit Marinville, and we all know Ray Schalk. There's one other Hall of Famer. Yeah, those guys are both Hall of Famers. Rabbit Marinville and Ray Schalk. There's only one other Hall of Famer that made it with a sub 260 average that is not a pitcher. Big hint, he hit over 500 home runs.
I know who it is. You didn't have to give me the hint. I knew who it was.
One player, sub 260 average, made the Hall of Fame. Well, 3 players, Rabbit Marinville, and Ray Schalk, but this is the third. Hint, he hit over 500 home runs.
Oh. All right. I got to guess.
Yeah, it's like you look at the numbers, you're like, don't even make sense.
Okay. Wow.
He's yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
Spit it out.
I'm good.
Give me some details, boy.
Come on.
So, who else?
Okay.
Everybody got something?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I got nothing, but that's it. That's what I'm
Okay,
doing.
I wrote something
Yeah.
down.
Just write down a guy that has 500 home runs. You know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only what 30 of them at this point.
Yeah.
I tried narrowing it down, kind of like the 51, 50. I mean, I had a zillion numbers to choose from.
So that's everybody got one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Wade.
Oh, I put Jim Tomei.
Put David Ortiz.
David. I don't.
Mr. October.
Ooh.
Oh.
I didn't even think about him.
I didn't either.
Really?
Don't
Who
think
is
so.
it?
What do you got?
Chipper Jones.
No.
I can't think of
You
one.
might have to double check it if you think it's Mr. October, but Harmon Killebrew.
Oh, okay.
He hit like 257.
I just did my research for Reggie Jackson for our episode, so I was like,
You were very confident.
I was very confident, and I like when you gave me that look after I said Mr. October, I was
So
like,
what was the batting average?
260.
Reggie Jackson
He
batted
batted
262.
Yo.
Yeah, he batted 262.
Damn, I had in my head as
You-
at
you had-
250.
You had me like worried. I'm like, man, I just gave these guys some bogus ass questions.
I didn't think Tomei was a good average hitter.
He wasn't. When you said Tomei, I was like, oh, that made sense. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, D-Bake sent me he didn't even give me an answer. He said that's a tough one. Cobb was successful a lot longer, but Mantle was better when he was healthy. So
I mean, he's not wrong.
yeah.
He's saying what we're saying.
Yeah, he just stated both of our arguments. But
Jim Tomei hit 276 for his career.
Did he really? I wouldn't have thought it was that high.
I think he also walked a ton, so his on base percentage is really high.
But that bat point,
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, he was also just a monster of a man.
he was a huge motherfucker.
Anyway, who's up next?
I am, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
Give me the batting average
really
by
wanted that
decimal.
I thought you had.
Yeah, we've had some questions probably harder than that.
Yeah, last week.
Get out of town.
9.
You just had to name MLB teams.
Somebody got it right, so we can't complain too much.
7. Go ahead, Ray.
I got 8.
Okay. When Julio Franco made his MLB debut at shortstop for the Phillies on April 23rd, 1982, who started at shortstop for the opposing team?
Who was the
The
opposing
fuck?
team?
It doesn't matter. That's part of the question.
So we're just asking who started at shortstop
Okay, just write one down.
in a random
write one
year.
Yeah.
Well, I got one.
Franco played until he was like 50.
He did do that, but you said the year, didn't you?
88.
Yeah.
88.
April 23rd, 1982.
82. Damn. Okay, I thought I said 88. Apparently I wasn't even listening. I don't know. All right, I wrote someone down.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got an answer.
See, buddy, your questions.
All right, I got an answer down.
I wonder if we all wrote on the same.
I got a shortstop down anyway.
I think this is.
Well, hold on. What team did you say he played for?
Who? Julio
Franco?
Franco?
Yeah.
The Phillies.
Okay, I need to make sure it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, never
But
mind.
I'm
Not a Philly.
Well, no, I would. There was no interleague play, so it has to be a
Right.
National League player. Is what I was getting ready to say.
Oh, well, good
See,
thing I
there
wrote
you go.
National
I
League
bet at
player
least
down.
4 of us. I bet at least 4 of us have the same person. If not-
Yeah, I think we all have the same.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Ozzy, Wizard of Oz.
There you go. That's the answer.
We all got it. We all got a point.
Buddy, you got
I love it.
I would
You made that question so much harder than it needed to.
But y'all got it.
We
didn't
did.
But it was
That's
it
awesome.
was a pure guess. Like it was. I had no.
That's the only shortstop I knew from that.
I knew from the 80s.
I knew I needed a National League shortstop. That's
Yeah.
all I knew. Like
Ozzy.
Like if I really racked my brain, I might be able to come up with maybe one more, but
See, I took a gamble and it shit all over me.
Your game just
The guest
exploded.
got another one.
The guests expand their lead.
Well, time to take my ass out the casino, I guess. 'cause I ain't winning shit.
all right. So here's my question. In 2005,
I was alive.
yes, a company
Okay.
came to Major League Baseball and wanted to sponsor an award. So baseball created an award for this. Well, they created the Comeback Player of the Year award, and it was sponsored by this company. Give me the company.
I think I saw this at a TikTok.
I think I know.
I think I do know too, Ray.
I just don't know if I'm probably pronouncing it right. I might. Close, like on the.
I don't know.
But Drew's giggling so bad over here.
TikTok really gives him some points.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, Drew. I hope you don't get it because you'll tie me again. I don't want that.
All right, I got an answer.
Is that everybody?
I gotta have the right answer on this, and I have to.
For some reason, I think they had a relief pitcher of the year that was sponsored by this.
Oh shit! I might have wrote that down.
Pepto
actually.
Bismol.
No, it was Rolaids.
Pepto.
Rolaids was the
Rolaids.
relief pitcher.
But Pepto's comeback. What
Yeah.
keeps it from coming back?
Keeps it
So
from
we're
coming
announcing
back.
answers, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh wait,
I put Rolaids down, so I erased it.
no, sir.
No. We were talking about you all blurted it out. That's not my problem.
I thought we were
I
ready.
haven't said mine yet.
Oh, I thought we were ready.
yeah.
Yeah, those two showed me their answers, so
Whatever.
so
Whatever.
No, go ahead. What's your answer?
What you guys got?
We're not right. So
No, I put Rolaids.
I put Viagra.
I put down Trojan condoms.
It's Viagra.
They sponsored an award.
They sponsored Comeback Player of the Year.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was in the right sector.
What do you put?
Trojan condoms.
Oh well.
I was in the right vicinity.
Oh,
Or
my.
vasectomy.
The penis business.
The
Son of a
Viagra Comeback Player of the Year.
Wait, that's crazy.
That's great. All right.
Oh my god.
After this week's tallies, which there were a fair amount of this week.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 5 of us got one question right.
Yeah.
And then you 2 got a question right. Drew got a question right.
Yeah.
Another, so.
Both of them get one right. So I don't know.
Yeah, we were giving out some
Yeah, we
points.
gave out a decent amount of points this week. So, now tied for the lead is Alex and Drew with 7. And second place is Wade with 6. And then Doug with 5. The guests with 3. And Ray still with the goose egg.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go say prayer, I guess.
Apparently the island isn't doing its job. I don't know what's
Oh, just wait till the next episode, cause oh my gosh, this next video I'm putting out,
We got a whole TV drama.
the island's gonna die out, I think.
All right, fair enough. Drew has tied me for the lead in trivia after my large comeback. It was 5-1. Like 3
I was
weeks
shocked
ago.
you came back there today, to be honest.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I got 2 right today, so I go in spurts.
But anyway, we appreciate you tuning in for this center fielder episode, and we would appreciate you tuning in next week for our right fielder episode. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.